by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Lawrence Butler, the infield comes in.
2-2. High drive to deep right. Forget about that baseball. It's onto the berm. Butler barrels it out of the ballpark and makes it a 4-1 A's lead. 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Leiter Jr. picks up the save and the A's win 5-2.
Banchero, he fires. Nylock!
Oh my gosh. 6 made threes, 45 points.
Cunningham shake and bake. Cunningham fires. Oh yeah! Detroit extends the lead. And that's it. The Pistons stay alive.
An opportunity for the Lakers. Reeves wide open. Can't hit. 8 in the flush. And it's a one-possession game. And what a gritty win from the Houston Rockets as they force a Game 6 Friday night.
Flyers control the face-off. Shot from long range. Score! The Flyers win it. Cam York beating the Sea-Loves in overtime.
Vegas off ice, an aggressive stance. Steal by Howden. Scores!
Down by 1 here in the ninth, but the drama building.
Deep right field to the wall, and it's gone! Rolling thunder out of the ballpark, and the Braves win it as Matt Olson just swung the hammer at that Jansen pitch, and he drills it out of the ballpark. Braves win!
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this program, and the show is brought to you by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities, supporting student, community, and employee needs. Landon Winkler is also in the room. He's running the video feed and the cameras. If you want to watch the show as well as listen, greatbendpost.com. Click on the Sports tab. Thursday on Sports Day is the post you need to click. And from there, you can watch the show as well as listen. We will have a little bit of the show for you to watch. That'll be in the second half of the program, so looking forward to that. But your sounds of the past 24 hours, it's how we start every single show. Royals lose again. They are currently tied 1-1 in the series with the Athletics. I was about to call them the Oakland Athletics. The A's win 5-2. The Lawrence Butler fourth-inning home run, the big story in that one. It was tied 1-1 at the time. Michael Wacha wears the loss, and unfortunate for him as he did pitch really well outside of a couple of moments in this game. Really good pitcher, obviously, what he's done the past 2 years with the Royals, past couple of years with the Royals. And unlucky for him, he will wear that loss. And again, the problem for the Royals, the bigger problem for the Royals, they only score 2 runs. One of them comes with 2 outs in the top of the ninth inning. So it was 1-1 for 8 2/3 innings, or it was 1 run for 8 2/3 innings of play for the Royals. And so they still need to get more out of their offense. We also had the NBA playoffs last night. The Detroit Pistons, they were down 3-1 to the Orlando Magic in the 1-8 matchup. They were able to hold on and win Game 5. They do force Game 6. They are now down 3-2. Or excuse me, it was they were down 3-0. They were down 3-0, and they are now down 3-2. They've won 2 in a row to stave off elimination, so they will play Orlando in Orlando coming up here soon. Other NBA playoff action: Cleveland takes down Toronto 125-120. Houston stays alive as well. That was the other basketball game that we played for you. They win at 99-93, and so they stay alive. And nobody was able to push through to last night. Everybody is now, this is kind of funny. Every series in the East is going to a Game 6. Orlando leads Detroit 3-2. Cleveland leads Toronto 3-2. New York leads Atlanta 3-2. And Boston leads Philadelphia 3-2. 3-2 series in the West as well. Lakers lead the Rockets 3-2, and the Timberwolves lead the Nuggets 3-2. Games on tonight in the NBA. We will have 3 of them. The Hawks will face the Knicks in Atlanta at 6. The 76ers will tip off against the Celtics in Philadelphia at 7. And the Timberwolves will host the Denver Nuggets at 8:30 in an elimination game. So that's what's going on in the NBA. We now move to the NHL. A couple of overtime game winners last night. We'll start with the one that finished the regulation. Montreal does beat Tampa Bay 3-2. That series is still alive. The Philadelphia Flyers are able to take down the Pittsburgh Penguins 1-0 in overtime. They do get the golden game. They do get the game winner. They defeat Pittsburgh 4-2. They advance. We now know that the second round matchup will be the Flyers and the Carolina Hurricanes, but those are the only series that's decided so far in either of these playoff matchup or either of these sports currently in their playoffs. Also last night, the Vegas Golden Knights defeated the Utah Mammoth 5-4. You heard the game winner in double overtime. So that's a look at your brackets in the sports currently in their playoffs. Also, I included the Braves walk-off win over the Detroit Tigers last night. They have now officially won that series. They're playing Game 3 right now, and the Braves, I believe, are still holding the lead. Yeah, it's 2-0 Braves in the bottom of the fifth in that matchup. They got started very early today, as it's a getaway day, I think, for both teams. But I really love listening to Ben Ingram. He's the radio voice of the Braves. He's a guy that I take a lot of my terminology from when I'm calling baseball, and he had just a whale of a call last night in that winner for Atlanta. So that's your sounds of the past 24 hours. Sports Day is presented in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Also by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. Lastly, in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Community College athletics programs the best in the country. We're going to hit our first break. On the other side, talked earlier today with Michael Stedinger, the head coach of Great Bend Baseball. Tough weekend for them up in Kansas City. They then split a doubleheader in Liberal, but while this has not been a great week for them, or the last week was not a great week for them, still a lot of time. I guess last weekend into this week, probably the best way to say that. Not a great showing for them as far as wins and losses. They only get one, but he's still pleased with the effort. He's still pleased with the way that they're fighting. Still thinks that the WAC is wide open. They've got a chance to still win the WAC if things break their way, but still got to go and get the job done. We'll talk about that with Michael Stedinger on the other side of this break. Well, actually, let me tell you what we're doing in the second half of the show. Second half, we'll talk on Evan Wadle, the Eagle Media draft consultant, newest member of Eagle Media here in Great Bend. He is going to come on in the second half of the show. He and I are going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs draft, the players that they picked. He's a big-time Chiefs fan, big-time fan of following the draft. We had him on a week ago today, actually, and he kind of broke down his first round and where he thought guys were going to go, and got some of those picks right. Not all of them, but still a pretty good percentage, and wants to talk. And I wanted to talk to him. He wants to talk about it. I want to talk to him about it. It's a mutual thing. We want to talk about the way the Chiefs drafted, some of the choices they made, and some of the players that he's really excited about as a Chiefs fan. But that's coming up in the second half of the show. After this break, Michael Stedinger, head coach of Great Bend Baseball. You're listening to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Parents, if your student is planning for college this fall, Barton Community College enrollment days make the process simple. In one visit, your student can meet with advisors, choose classes, explore financial aid, and get everything set for the semester ahead. Barton's team is here to guide them every step of the way. Sign up for a Barton enrollment day and get started today. Go to enroll.bartoncccc.edu.
Hey Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Get fit with the Great Bend Rec. Join one of their many fitness classes. They have something for everyone's fitness type. Cardio, yoga, tai chi, HIIT, spin classes, and more.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry now joined by Michael Stedinger, head coach of Great Bend Baseball. Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys were in Garden City over the weekend. Tough competition, or not Garden City, I'm sorry. You were in Kansas City over the weekend. Tough competition, and the final scores kind of looked like it.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it didn't go the way that we wanted it to. As far as the scoreboard goes, you know, for sure. And I think that there were a lot of people out there that were expecting a different result, including our coaching staff and team. But, you know, you talk about the competition level, and for sure in Blue Valley Southwest and Spring Hill, we saw 2 of the best teams that we're probably going to see in Kansas, you know, until the postseason, and then faced Joplin, Missouri also, and another quality team, a game that we probably should have won and played a little better in. But, yeah, we definitely saw some great competition, and we learned a lot about our team from that.
Tell me about what you did learn in this team, because we were talking about it before we went, and you said, well, this is not – we don't have to sweep this weekend. We want to compete. We want to see, like you said, the best competition maybe that you're going to see all year, and you just wanted to see the competition aspect of it, try and throw your team into the fire a little bit, so to speak. What did you see this weekend?
You know, what I would say first and foremost, we saw that having depth in the pitching staff, you know, and we've talked about this year, but having depth, that's one of the main things that every team has got to try to figure out, you know, and right now we got to develop a little bit more pitching, you know, when you're trying to get through, and especially trying to get through a stretch like what we've got, and we talked about this last week on the show also, makes it tough when you can't throw a guy out there and let him go 105 pitches, you know, and you're having to make the amount of pitching changes that we are. But, you know, we figured out we've got to develop some more pitching. And the other thing that I would say that we learned even more is even though the scores weren't the way that we wanted to, our guys battled the plate, you know, and this is one thing, you can't see this on Game Changer unless you're watching it, but we had a lot of hard hit balls that were right at people. And it seems like we're kind of in one of those deals. This is even the Liberal game the other day. We're in one of those swings where kind of if it can go against us, it is going against us right now. You know, everybody else is bleeding us to death. We're hitting line drives at people, and they're not falling for us.
Talk about some of the guys who did play well over the weekend. Like you said, final results are whatever. You can only learn so much from box score watching. Who are some guys that you were impressed with?
You know, Rafa Chavez, he's a guy that we've talked about this year. He had some great at-bats at the plate. Cohen Bordy's another guy that's gotten going offensively lately for us, and he put together some good at-bats. One thing, and maybe this was probably the biggest takeaway that I had, we had Jacoby Council, a freshman for us, step up and play in the outfield and really make some nice plays out there. I mean, made a diving catch, throws a guy out at the plate. So, we learned a little bit more about our younger guys, again, as they were able to get in there and play a little bit more in games like that.
It's got to be nice to, we've talked about depth, we've talked about the age of this team, and to be able to go even deeper into your bench, to be able to get some more of those young guys' experience in an environment like what you saw in Kansas City. It's just more experience for the guys that over the next couple of years are going to be huge for your team.
It is for sure. And the other thing, like you say, we're in Kansas City, we're playing great competition. It's nice to see those younger guys go and compete against the top level of competition that we're going to see this year. And, not to take anything away from the WAC, because there's obviously plenty of good competition in the WAC and stuff like that. But, specifically Spring Hill, what we saw out of those guys, they were legit, 1 through 9, no holes in their lineup. And so it was nice. We had Gavin Wandra go, he has to come in on the mound after we struggle early, and watching a guy like that kind of grow up on the mound right before our eyes against a very, very quality offensive team.
I was at the Great Bend softball doubleheader against Hayes on Thursday, and in between games, I came over and I watched your team take BP for a little while. The things that you were throwing at these kids in preparation for this weekend tournament, you had the machine turned up about as much as you could for what they were going to see this weekend, and trying to put them in different scenarios like you do in a practice setting. But was that about what you saw pitching wise?
Yeah, I'd say it was comparable. We probably didn't face the arms and the velocity that I was hoping to see this weekend, and not that we didn't see anybody that was good or anything like that. I expected a little bit more, but what you saw in practice the other day, that's something that we try to do with our guys a lot. We're going to challenge them, and I believe you were out there when we had two machines set up at the same time, one with fastballs and one with breaking balls, and we're trying to make practice harder than what the game is going to be. That way, when it comes game time, things slow down, they're not overwhelmed and stuff like that. So it doesn't always look amazing in practice as far as the result, but what we're trying to teach them is how do we work through those problems and how do we adjust.
That's what a practice is for, right? Is you're just trying to replicate what you're going to see in game as much as possible, especially at this point in the season where, you still go through the drill work and things like that. But as far as the skills that these kids have, they kind of are the players that they are. There's no reason they can't get better. But at this point, it's more about being in those scenarios.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We just talked about this the other day with one of our hitters. We're too far in the season to go say, hey, we're going to break your swing down and we're going to change your entire swing. But what we can do is we can teach things like approach. We can teach the mental side of the game. What are we looking for pitchers to do to us at the plate? As a pitcher, how do we want to attack guys and stuff like that? So if all we do is go through the motions in practice and, hey, you got 15 ground balls today and 15 fly balls and here's your round of BP, well, we're not doing what we need to do to make our guys better and prepare them for those game situations.
So you also went down to Liberal this week and had the doubleheader against Liberal. We're supposed to play the doubleheader here, one game there. Weather makes it to where it's one game here, 2 games there, so you don't have to drive 3 hours to Liberal, play for 2 hours, and then drive 3 hours back, which has got to be a decent feeling, I guess. But split the doubleheader with Liberal. You take 2 out of 3 from them in the season series. That's 2 series that you've played now, and you've taken 2 out of 3 from both of the WAC teams you faced.
Yeah, and, we're happy with that. I always come back to this. We're happy, not satisfied.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to that situation. Liberal's got a good team out there. Don't get me wrong. They're another young team that's, up and coming. But I look at a game like that, and game 2 especially, we didn't throw strikes on the mound. Put ourselves in a big hole in the first inning. And then, like I was telling you, they're bleeding us to death, and we're not playing great defense. It's one of those deals. I would like to see us sweep that doubleheader against a team like that if we're on top of our game, and unfortunately we weren't in that second game.
So now you head to Dodge City tomorrow. You're actually finishing up WAC play with your next 2 series, I believe. And you've got the second half. Dodge City and Garden are the 2 teams you haven't played yet, or 2 teams that you haven't had the doubleheader against yet. So tell us what you saw from those teams the first time around.
Obviously, Garden is a much improved team this year from where they were at last year, and they are still rolling. They probably have one of the better pitching staffs that we're going to see in the WAC, and then they've got Jacoby Rathbun, who's been on fire lately offensively. I think he was WAC Player of the Week last week. And then, tomorrow when we go out to Dodge is another team that I would say they're a lot like us. They're scrappy. They're going to play small ball. They're going to try to move guys around and take extra bases where they can and, get on the mound and just compete. So the WAC is still open. but it's not an easy road. We really need to win out the rest of the WAC.
I just noticed you end the season with a road trip to Manhattan against a school that just churns out high-level talent after high-level talent. What went into the decision to end the season against a high-level team like that?
It's one of those deals going into the postseason. Again, you want to, and I guess if you look at our entire season, our strength of schedule this year is very good, and that's what we want to be playing every year. It doesn't do us any good to play lackluster competition, and so I think anytime you can end your season with a team like Manhattan, who's playing really well right now, and last I looked, I want to say they're ranked in 6A. That just leads us into that postseason. And even whether you win or lose, if you can go out and you compete against a team like that, it just allows you to stay on top of your game going into the postseason.
Tell us about the way the playoffs will set up. I heard some talk the other day. Is it still regional sites before you get to the main finals? Or
the top four will still host.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the way that goes, right now I think we're sitting at like a 6 or 7 seed, somewhere in the middle there. Be great if we could get into the top four and host. Everybody always wants to be able to do that.
Sure.
But, as long as we're competing and what we're really looking for is just we want to peak at the right time. And that's really my goal. Whatever our seed is, we're going to go in and we're going to compete with anybody, and we feel confident in our team. But we just want to make sure that over these next 2 weeks, we're getting back to playing our game and we're peaking at the right time.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for the time, and good luck at Dodge tomorrow.
Thank you.
That's head coach Michael Stettinger of Great Bend Baseball joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to Coach Stett for coming on the show. Really appreciate what he's been able to do, what he's done for this program since we started talking a couple of weeks ago. I think I've interviewed him the last month and a half. I think once a week, the last month and a half. He's been great, great on the air, and easy to talk to as well. Very willing to talk as well, which I definitely appreciate. And a good team, a good year that Great Bend is having. They've got to kind of get on it as far as if they want to win WAC. Who's to say? But there's still a decent amount of season left, but only 4 games left for them in WAC play. So something to keep an eye on. We'll keep you updated on that as it happens. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Equity Bank. There when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and in Larned. Also by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. We're going to take a break. On the other side, joined by Evan Wadle, Eagle Media draft consultant, will join us on the program. We'll talk Kansas City Chiefs draft picks. That's coming up on the other side of this break. You're listening to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Barton Community College, in partnership with Golden Key Group, proudly offers the nation's first associate degree in federal human resources. This online program prepares anyone for remote federal HR careers across the government. Service members and military spouses can use My CAA or GI Bill benefits to take the next step toward a flexible, rewarding career from wherever you are. Learn more at federalhr.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of Your Local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmies make it happen.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes are looking for motivated people to join their team. They're hiring a full-time installer. Experience is a plus. The position offers competitive pay and benefits. They're also looking for an energetic salesperson who enjoys helping customers. Candidates must have a valid driver's license and pass a drug test to be considered. C&E Doors is an equal opportunity employer. Apply today at C&E Doors on Harrison in Great Bend or on Vine in Hayes. C&E Doors, opening the door to your future job.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you, talking now with Evan Wadel, Eagle Media draft consultant. We're adding titles.
I love it.
To everything that you do. What is your official title here?
I'm a marketing consultant.
Oh, that's right. You're wearing the name tag right now.
Yeah, I went to Chamber Coffee this morning, so you get an extra door ticket if you wear your name tag.
Oh, nice.
Got to be super official with it.
Real nice. So you're just telling everybody who's seeing you on camera right now.
Absolutely.
Exactly who you are.
Marketing specialist. Give me a call if you want to do some ads on the radio or Grape and Post. I'd love to help you out.
We do a lot of advertising around here.
We do. It's kind of our claim to fame here.
Big thing that we do.
It keeps the lights on.
Exactly. So, Evan, let's talk about we brought you in. You're a big-time Chiefs fan.
Oh, yeah.
You're a big-time draft fan.
Big time.
So we're going to mix those two things. We're going to talk about the Chiefs draft. Since the first round was a week ago tonight, I just kind of want your overall thoughts on the draft, not necessarily player by player. We'll do that for the remainder of the show. But
yeah.
I just kind of broad overview. What did you think?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a great draft. It was very important that we were successful in this draft. I guess time will tell if we are. But, on paper after the draft, I think Brett Veach did a fantastic job. And Veach we trust. That is instilled into all of our brains. It should be. He's awesome at what he does. He's a big part of the Chiefs' success over the last, decade, really. Yeah, no, we needed to get younger, and we needed to fill a lot of holes, especially on the defensive side. And you saw that early. I mean, our first 4 picks were all defensive guys.
Yeah.
Overall, I've seen a lot of draft grades already. I haven't seen anything for the Chiefs like lower than a B. Like everybody thinks that they've nailed it, and I was really happy with how it turned out. It wasn't totally what I expected either, especially when the Chiefs traded up to 6 with the Browns. I had the Browns training that pick, but I thought it was going to be with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to leapfrog some guys to get Caleb Downs, but they were able to get him at 12. But the Chiefs were the ones that moved up, and, with Bain sitting there on the board, Caleb Downs there on the board, Sonny Styles on the board, I didn't know who we were going to grab, and we grabbed Mansour Lane. And, at the time, it was kind of maybe a little bit of a head-scratcher. A lot of guys didn't think we needed to trade up for him. But, the more I thought about it and the more I heard, Brett Veach talk about it after his post-draft interview and, Coach Reed, Coach Spags talking about the pick, it really didn't bother me at all. We traded a third-round pick and a fifth. But, with those later round, fifth-round picks, you're
looking for your fringe guys that you're getting a lot of lottery tickets.
Exactly.
Once you get past the 4th round.
Yeah, there's no guarantee those guys even make a roster sometimes. So really, we gave up a 3rd-round pick to move up 3 spots and get the best corner in the draft, and that's our biggest need. That's our biggest hole on our roster. Going into the draft, losing McDuffie, losing Watson, big question mark there. Who we're going to do plug in there, and I think Mansour Lane's a great pick. I think he's a good dude too. I've heard I heard the LSU coaches giving a rundown on him. It seems like he keeps his nose clean. Not a problem player like some other people we've had in the past, or some guys we still have on the team.
Yeah.
So I think he should put us at ease a little bit, and I really enjoyed that pick. And then getting Peter Woods at the back end of the first round, that was a potential steal of the draft as well, I think. I mean, going into the season, I'll talk about it later, but he was projected to be like a top 5 pick. But he and all of Clemson really had a down year this season, but nobody was really expecting that. But I was really, very happy to see our first round go the way that it did. 2 glaring needs taken care of there.
You know, what was going through your head? And I'll start with my answer for it. When the Chiefs traded up from 9th to 6th, you look at the picks that came off before, I thought they were going to go Ruben Bain.
Yeah, I did
because
too.
the top 2 edges were already gone. It is a need for Kansas City. I thought that they were trading up to ensure that Bain didn't fall to the Commanders.
Yes.
Is what I thought. But when you hear Brett Veach talk about why they traded up, he specifically mentioned New Orleans is in the same position that they lost their top 2 corners over the past year. And he didn't want it to fall to New Orleans, and you know how good the Commanders drafted defensively.
Exactly, and the Saints were a team where it was kind of hard really to see where they were going with their draft. I mean, they could have gone Bain.
They need a lot of help.
They
need a lot of help.
And they could have gone Bain. They could have gone Delane. You know, a lot of people thought that they would go Jeremiah Love if he was there. Obviously, he wasn't. But you know, when corner's your biggest need, and you have an opportunity to go up and get the best corner in this draft, why take the risk of letting him go to the Saints when you can just go ahead and take care of business and take care of your biggest needs? So, I mean, I thought it was a smart move looking back. At the time, I was like a little bit like, oh, okay, well, but I mean, I thought it was worthwhile.
I thought looking back at it, it's going to depend obviously on how good Mansour Delane is, and if you had let Mansour Delane fall, who would have been available at 9, and how good does that guy end up being? And you know, we'll see how good that pick ends up being in the long run. But I do like it. I do think Mansour Delane is probably the best corner available in the draft. Look, anytime you can get the top corner out of LSU, and I know that he played for Virginia Tech the first 3 years of his career, but anytime you can transfer into LSU and immediately become their number 1 corner, like you're doing something pretty special. That is a program that churns out really, really good defensive backs.
And his stats were incredible from last season. And actually, I think he's going to be – I'm not going to say he's going to be better than Trent McDuffie. McDuffie's an all-pro. He's a beast. I love that guy. It was sad to see him go. But I think positionally he is a better outside corner than McDuffie was, where McDuffie had a lot of success in the nickel and, like, in the slot.
How big was McDuffie? Because Delane is not a big dude.
I think they're probably pretty comparable.
Yeah.
But I think he has better outside skills. And he only allowed 13 receptions for 147 yards last year, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
2 interceptions.
And that's played in the SEC, which obviously I'm biased, but like LSU played some really good teams this year, last year, and like you said, he was pretty fantastic against all of them.
And you look at like the top corners taken in the last couple drafts, like Derek Stingley and Sauce Gardner, guys like that. I mean, they've all been hits. So I'm hoping that train keeps rolling with the Chiefs.
Yep.
There.
Peter Woods, this is an interesting pick to me. Like you said, a guy with a lot of talent, really high motor. Clemson, we talk about how LSU turns out defensive backs. Clemson turns out defensive linemen.
Yeah.
And Peter Woods, kind of a tweener. He's 6'2", just shy of 300, plays defensive tackle.
He's a little bit leaner,
but he can move up and down the line, and I feel like it feels to me like you're kind of looking at the Chris Jones replacement here.
Yeah, it could
maybe
be
in the long run.
I mean, he's 35 years old. I think we have him on contract maybe 2 more years-ish. I know he signed his extension. It was like a 5-year deal a couple of years back. I'm not totally sure. But we were thin at that spot, too. We had lost some guys, and Norman Lott had tore his ACL last year, or his Achilles, one of the two. And so, you know, we don't really know what we have in Lott just because he only played a few games, and now he's coming off a pretty significant injury. And like I said, like Peter Woods was projected to be a top 5 pick in the draft before the season started, and we were able to get him at 29. And he's a very good run defender. I think where he has room to grow is in his pass rushing ability. I think he hasn't had very many sacks in his career, but I mean, he plays defensive line. A lot of your sacks come from your edge guys. But he's a very, very good run defender. And I thought he was a steal of a pick there at 29. And if you listen to Brett Veach's call with him at the combine, or not at the combine, after the draft, he was like, man, we were sweating out that pick, just hoping you would be there. And I thought if they were going to trade up in this draft, it was going to be from that 29 spot, not 9, but it was the other way around. So I'm glad that they were able to get such a a valuable guy there at 29. That was a big pick.
Yeah, top 10 prospect in high school, played at Alabama. I can't remember, played in Alabama, played high school football in Alabama, where just guys that play high school football in Alabama, Alabama's not a very populous state. The per capita, and again, I've covered football there for the last 4 years, high school, college, whatever. The per capita, the guys that come out of Alabama are usually really good.
Yeah.
And so many of them go to Clemson, obviously, as well. And so you're getting a high school guy who's from Alabama to going to play at Clemson. There's those two things. I mean, you just look at the patterns. Like you said, first corner draft of the past couple of years has always been a hit. Guys from those programs tend to hit as well. So that is Peter Woods, 6'2", 298. Does the size concern you at all?
Not really. I think, if anything, it's kind of I like him a little bit more of athletic of a guy. Like,
yeah,
if he is a little bit undersized, then he better be quick, and I think he is. And like I said, he has had no problems plugging holes against the run, and I think he'll be a good asset for us. And hopefully he can mesh with Chris Jones a lot, and they can be quite the duo there on the interior line.
Yeah, I heard his post-draft interview, and he mentioned specifically, I want to learn everything I can from Chris Jones. And Chris Jones is only 310, only 310, which is a little undersized for a defensive tackle. And so there's not a whole lot of difference. And I think that Woods, you can probably put 10 more pounds on him. I think that, it's the NFL. They can do what they want with these guys' weights. And I think that, I think short term, you're getting an impact, super good athlete, defensive tackle, and long term, you've got the replacement for Chris Jones whenever he leaves.
Right, yeah.
I think that's the hope, at least. My favorite pick, just as far as value that the Chiefs made, R. Mason Thomas.
I love this pick.
Edge out of Oklahoma. This dude is a monster.
I love this guy.
R. Mason Thomas, if he doesn't get hurt, I think 10 games into last season, he misses the very tail end of Oklahoma's season. He's a first rounder. He's not coming off.
I was loving this pick, and I knew it was going to be him or Zion Young, because I knew that they also brought Zion Young from Missouri in for a couple visits. But once they were both on the clock, I was really hoping they'd pick this guy over Zion Young, and they did. So I was really happy with that. And I have it in my notes here. He is so entertaining to watch. If you put on his highlight tape on YouTube and just try not to get excited about. I mean, he's an explosive player. He's got this play where he has a scoop and score against Tennessee. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
He has this tight end hanging on his jersey for 20 yards and takes it to the crib. It's awesome. Super, super fast off the line. He's a little bit undersized as far as weight goes. He's 6'2", 241, slimmer guy, but he's really, really quick. And I think he's going to complement George Karlaftis really well on the other side of the line. I don't know how many. We like to rotate guys out on the edge. That's kind of how Spags rolls, but I think he could be a third down specialist. If it's an obvious passing down, get this guy out there after maybe sitting out of play, you get some juice, then go after. And then he said he modeled his game after a player that I really like in the league that's also in the AFC West, Nick Benito, for Denver, but he's another OU guy, so it kind of makes sense there.
We say it's always funny when we're talking about undersized guys. We just said that Peter Woods is undersized at 298. Now, R. Mason Thomas, different position, a little undersized, but I feel like 240 is kind of the floor for what edge defenders can be in the NFL and survive, be able to set the edge in the run game and, still have the ability to get off as far as pass rush. But watching R. Mason Thomas, I watched him a lot this past year. Like I said, I really liked watching him because of how good he was. One, he beat Auburn by himself, pretty much. You talked about the highlight tape that's on YouTube. You want to see some of his best film, watch him beat Auburn.
He is so fast off the line.
He's incredibly quick. Yes. What kills me is, yes, he's got that explosive first step, but even though he is quote-unquote undersized, he wins in a variety of ways. He's got he's got a very deep bag of moves and a nice blend of speed and power, and can drive tackles into the quarterback as well as getting by them. And he splits double teams really well. I was a big fan of this pick when I saw that the Chiefs made it, and I had forgotten that he got injured, and I was kind of shocked that he dropped to the second round.
And we love guys from Oklahoma for some reason, and they've usually panned out pretty well. Creed Humphrey, OU guy.
Sure.
So
Yep. So tell me about this is the Jaden Kennedy.
And this is where we start drafting guys that I don't really know about pre-draft, but I've done my homework on this guy. Jaden Kennedy, I think he's going to be a nice rotational corner. He's going to play in the slot. That's where he played primarily in college. Most of his snaps were in the slot, which is great. I think he only allowed 104 receiving yards last year, which was the least in all of FBS. And number 2, the second least, was Mansour Delane. So it's kind of cool to see those two team up now in the backfield. So I think our 2 outside corners are going to be Delane and Noel Williams from last year's draft out of Cal. And then we can put this guy in the slot. Jamari Connor, he'll be another guy in the slot probably. But he's a great depth piece. I think he's going to be a guy that I think over time you're going to see him get more and more snaps. He only allowed 5 first down receptions. And out of the slot, that's kind of tough because that's where you get a lot of crossing routes. You kind of get put on tight ends a lot.
You've got to be able to guard the whole field. Those outside guys have the sideline to work with.
Right. If you're inside.
Those slot guys, you've got to be – you don't have to necessarily be as big. And this guy's not. He's 5'10", 180.
Yeah.
But you've got to be quick, and you've got to be able to, break in either direction, which it's incredibly hard to play slot corner.
And if he's being put up against these big tight ends, I mean, he's got a size mismatch there. Fast guys, tall guys with big verticals. Yeah. I mean, he's only allowing 5, and he played in the Big Ten. I mean, he played some really good teams, and he was able to hold his own. Only 5 first downs allowed. So I'm excited about that pick too. And our secondary kind of got ravaged through this last offseason, and especially with McDuffie and Watson leaving. And I think the guys we were able to fill in are good additions, and they're young and affordable. So that always helps.
Absolutely, it does. Started his career at Tulane, got hurt as a sophomore, played in about half their season, transferred to Ole Miss, redshirted 1 year, then was a really good player with Ole Miss, and then this past year, like you said, goes to Oregon and kind of shows out. And like you said, to be able to do what he did in the Big Ten, it's good when you can do it against the quality competition. And he showed that he could do it first at Tulane in the AAC, and then he made the jump to the SEC and then to one of the best teams in the Big Ten.
Right.
It's a good track to follow. You can see him. I don't know if he necessarily got better, but you can see the competition definitely get better.
Right.
And a high school track athlete. That goes to show a lot as well. All right, we got to have our first break of hour number 2. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, their knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your home decor and budget. Visit the Great Bench Showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also brought to you by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. You're listening to Sports Day on 1590 KVGBN 95.5 FM.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor. And don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Get fit with the Great Bend Rec. Join one of their many fitness classes. They have something for everyone's fitness type. Cardio, yoga, tai chi, HIIT, spin classes, and more.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes are looking for motivated people to join their team. They're hiring a full-time installer. Experience is a plus. The position offers competitive pay and benefits. They're also looking for an energetic salesperson who enjoys helping customers. Candidates must have a valid driver's license and pass a drug test to be considered. C&E Doors is an equal opportunity employer. Apply today at C&E Doors on Harrison in Great Bend or on Vine in Hayes. C&E Doors, opening the door to your future job.
Hey Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Final 10 or so minutes of the show. It is presented in part today by the Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community and the individual lives of their community members. It is also brought to you in part by Freedom Claims Management. Let the experienced and dedicated staff at FCMI customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Brant Daughtry talking with Evan Wadle, Eagle Media's draft consultant, and we're just kind of going through. We're going through the Chiefs draft picks, giving our overall thoughts on all the players that the Kansas City Chiefs that are now Kansas City Chiefs. And so we go to round 5, pick 161 in the draft. And Evan, we talked about it at the break. Chiefs showing a commitment to the running game. In this draft.
This was a good pick, great pick actually. And I wasn't watching the draft at this time. I don't watch the later rounds.
Sure.
I get an alert on my phone that the Chiefs have selected Emmett Johnson. They actually traded up a little bit to get him. And I was just, the second I saw it, I was excited because I go to Lincoln, Nebraska fairly frequently, and I've seen him play in person at some Nebraska games, and he's electric and a really good dude, great player. I thought he was the best offensive player on the field for Nebraska. He led the Big Ten in rushing yards last year with just over 1,400 rushing yards. And pairing him with Kenneth Walker just sounds so exciting to me. Like watching last year and how terrible the Chiefs' run game was with Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. Those are two guys that I like. I like those players, but they just weren't getting it done and putting a lot of strain on Mahomes in the passing game that was also struggling at times with injuries and suspensions and stuff like that. Our offense was really hard to watch. And I love that we've gone all in, getting the best free agent running back, and I think probably a top 5 college running back last year in the draft, and if he would have ran a faster 40, we were talking about that too. He probably would have been at least a second, third round pick, but he's a little bit slower. But really good player.
Leading rusher in the Big Ten is usually a pretty good bet.
Yeah, that's a prestigious honor actually. You think about teams like Iowa, Michigan. These are teams that love to run the football, that are really good at running the football. And Nebraska was able to get it done with this cat. And he's a fan favorite at Nebraska, too. Being in the stadium, watching people's reaction about this guy, hearing people talk about him on their sports shows. He was a big fan favorite. And it's cool to see him, just come down the interstate a little bit to Kansas City. I think there's a lot of Nebraska people that are Chiefs fans, and I'm sure that they're elated that he was able to come join them in Kansas City. And I think, not having to rely on him to be like the bell cow first down back and letting him come in when he needs to be fresh legs, when Kenneth Walker goes out, I think he's going to really explode in that space. And he's got really good receiving skills too, where I think we love that ability in our backs. So, seeing Pacheco leave, was kind of bittersweet. Like, I didn't love the guy at times when he'd run straight into the back of people. But, I mean, he was a good dude, and he loved to play hard, and he loved his team. And so I wish him the best of luck up in Detroit. But I'm very excited to get Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson in the building and just see what they can do together. And I really enjoy watching us run the football. So
5'10", 202, not the biggest back in the world, but certainly enough size, especially if you're going to keep him as the number 2. And I like that I like that it's paired with Kenneth Walker because they're both kind of all-around guys. They're about the same size. They give you a little bit of everything. They can both be power runners, but they also run zone schemes really well. They're both good out of the backfield in the receiving game. So I think that's kind of, you've got Kenneth Walker the second and Kenneth Walker the third kind of as the top 2 running backs right now.
Right, yeah. So, and then we got Brashad Smith from SMU last year. He's kind of our gadget guy. I think, there's going to be ways that we can have him complement what Emmett Johnson and Kenneth Walker can do in the backfield. And it'll be interesting to see if we've also signed a bunch of undrafted free agent running backs too. I think it's almost like a open tryout, it seems like, for who's going to make this roster for the backfield. I don't know if Brashad Smith is going to be a lock. He was a 7th-round pick. He was a wide receiver turned running back last year. So, for sure, I'd say Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson are going to be our guys. I think Kareem Hunt could be a guy that's in the mix. I mean, we could bring him back if we wanted to. He was really good on those 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. I mean, higher completion or first down percentage than the tush push in Philly. So, if he is just a one-trick pony, I mean, that could be an asset that we'd like to use. I don't know. But excited to see those 2 back there for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so through to pick 176 in the draft. This is a compensation pick. I love compensation picks.
Love those.
You get Cyrus Allen, wide receiver out of Cincinnati, smaller slot guy.
Yeah.
Good run after catch kind of player. And so what have you watched this guy at all?
Not a whole lot. I didn't really catch a lot of Cincinnati football games unless they were playing KU or maybe K-State. But yeah, like you said, I think he's a good slot receiver. 293 of his 413 offensive snaps were in the slot, so that's where he's going to excel. That's where we like to put Rashee Rice. So I'm not sure where this guy gets in the rotation. We had a guy, Jalen Royals, last year from Utah State. We drafted him in the 4th round, and we didn't really see him get in at all. He played some special teams, I think, and I think he might have had like 4 catches on offense all season. Even after our season was kind of over, after that Thanksgiving game or going into December when we didn't really have anything to play for, he really didn't get in the mix much. So I am interested to see if Cyrus Allen really gets involved in our offense. I think there's definitely holes in our wide receiver core where I could see him and Royals making a push up into the lineup after losing Hollywood Brown. Juju Smith-Schuster's gone. So, I mean, there's going to be spots to go around and some snaps and some balls to go out. So I thought he had a really good Senior Bowl. That was something that was talked about a lot. I watched his highlight clips from there and like the drills that they do before the game. He was killing it. And I'm interested to see just where he can kind of fit in. I don't know a whole lot about him. I know he led the Big 12 with touchdowns last year. He had 13 touchdowns, so he's great in the red zone. So 13
touchdowns out of a smaller slot receiver, and a lot of that coming in the red zone. That's skill.
Yeah,
that's skill.
So I think he'll be a good asset in those situations too, being in the red zone. So hopefully he can have a good camp and make an impact on our offense.
And last pick of the draft, for the Kansas City Chiefs, round 7, pick 249, Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU. And if you take a lottery pick on a decent backup quarterback, you need a backup quarterback. Every team needs a backup.
Absolutely. And Garrett, I mean, granted, this is a pretty bad quarterback draft, but he was ranked like quarterback 3 going into this draft by multiple reports. Some people liked Klubnik better, and he went in the 4th. But like Nussmeier, I mean, he's a gunslinger. He was a leader there at LSU. I mean, any quarterback for LSU, they earn their spot there. It's a hard place to play.
Yeah.
And he loved that school. And I watched his interview with John Gruden, the QB class. I love watching those. But I thought he did a phenomenal job there on his show, and Gruden and Andy Reid are pretty good friends that go way back. So I wondered if there was any kind of connection there to maybe that interview at all. Because Nussmeier was nowhere on my radar at any point in this draft. But I obviously don't mind it in the 7th round. I mean, like you said, everybody needs a backup quarterback, and this guy could turn out to be a pretty good one, and he would be incredibly affordable. I mean, the 7th round pick.
I was about to say that's probably where the most attractive thing is. Gardner Minshew's on a veteran deal at this point, so you go and you draft a much younger rookie guy, not the same type of quarterback as Patrick Mahomes, but I mean it's Andy Reid,
right? And we've had a revolving door recently with backup quarterbacks, just kind of 1-year deals. Like we had Chad Henne for a little bit, we had Blaine Gabbert for a bit, Carson Wentz was in, Gardner Minshew. We just signed spacing on his name from the Jets, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yeah.
I mean, he's not going to stay on the Chiefs for more than a year. I think. Yeah, I mean, he's still a guy. It's hard to see how his career has kind of come along. You feel for the guy after.
I was so high on him after.
I know.
Ohio State. I really liked him.
He had such a fun college career, and he kind of got given a raw deal maybe in Chicago. Like, I'd like to see him in Chicago with this new Ben Johnson regime.
It would be fun. Now, the second Caleb Williams became available, like Justin Fields was out.
He was out, and I think he knew that. And and I think a lot of people felt like Chicago fans felt bittersweet about it, like seeing him go. But you got a really good prospect in Caleb Williams. But so he'll be our QB3 going into this year, Garrett Nussmeier. But Fields isn't going to stick around long. He'll probably, I think he's using this season on the Chiefs to kind of get some coaching by Andy Reid, who's well known for being kind of a quarterback whisperer. Watching Mahomes play, I think that'll help get some pointers, and then just kind of reboot his career maybe where he might be able to get a shot somewhere else next season. So getting Nussmeier here gives us, I think, a reliable guy that can be a backup for years to come.
As the music plays here, we got about a minute. No details here. Your favorite UDFAs that the Chiefs picked up. Do you have any?
Man, to be honest, I don't really even know the list.
That's fair. No, hey, look, I don't know them from my team either.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, overall, though, I thought the Chiefs crushed the draft. I thought Brett Veach did his thing like he always does, and I think we needed to get younger. Outside of our core guys, we needed to get younger. So,
Evan, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Absolutely. It's good to be here, pal.
That's Evan Wadle joining us on the program today. Big thanks as well to Michael Stedinger, head coach of Great Bend High School baseball. That's going to do it for today's episode of Sports Day. The Royals are up next. Series finale with the A's. You're listening to 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.